You stole my heart of gold after my silver soul. Can you dig any deeper now? I gave you all I own, put you on this golden throne, but I'm a little stronger now. You cashed in on my promises, you know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to
Okay, so we are in a 2018 Panamera 4S. So this car is 440 horsepower, 405 pound-feet of torque, and for winter, I think that's a pretty good mix. Maybe so. Maybe you get stuck just a little bit if you power it out too much. But going for a quick test drive in this car to see how it feels, how it handles for winter driving. I'd like to see how PDK does with keeping traction, and especially with traction control on versus off. I know Porsche makes a pretty good traction control system. I don't think you have to turn it off if you're stuck, but we'll find out about that. So let's go for a quick test drive, see how it handles. These cars are such great daily drivers because they're so versatile. So with Panamera 4, you can drive it anywhere. You can drive to the track if you want. The brakes are good enough, they won't overheat, depending on how many laps you do. But they're really meant for everyday driving. They're not just summer cars like a 911 would be, and that's depending on the opinion on the person. But these cars really are meant for all year round. I think they make them for our Canadian winters pretty well. Even in Germany they have a bit of snow, but I think these cars are pretty made for us. Even like I've noticed the wheel wells on these cars are all plastic, so like when you're washing it, all the dirt just washes right out. There's nothing to hold dirt like a truck would, and the gaps can rust. Like these cars are so rust proofed as well. They're all galvanized. I don't think Porsche's rusty even at all in the slightest. So I really think this car is meant for all year round. It's pretty good for what it does. But even then, this car has 4-season tires. I don't feel all traction is there. I don't feel any sense of loss of grip at all. It does feel sticky, but I think the 4-wheel drive helps with that. But even then, Porsche's all-wheel drive system in this car, I believe it has rear steer as well. So it adds pretty much great stability for it all year round. Okay, I lied. I thought the turning radius was good. It's pretty good for a vehicle this length, but it's not. So it's okay for tight spaces, but this car really is for, I've been driving it a bit now, it's really good all around. Like, I think I only understeered once, but that was, don't even take that as an example. This car is super sticky wherever it goes. The 4-wheel drive is good, but when you put the power down in this car, it is technically 4-wheel drive, you know, it's an all-wheel drive car, because it does send, it's rear-wheel drive bias, but it does send the power to the front wheels when there's loss of traction in the front there. So it'll send more, loss of traction in the rear, so it'll send more power to the front axle. So it's pretty cool. You can even see on the cluster here, you can see your torque split and what it's doing, how much power it's sending to the front, and it's always full rear, it seems like most of the time. So it's like a 90-10, I think, when you're going around. But this car is really nice. It's quiet. There's not really any road noise going around, except for a little bit, but I think that's because of the 4-season tires on it. The car is PDK. The shifts are, they're pretty fast. I like the car a lot. The exhaust is pretty nice for it too as well. It does have the Sport Chrono package, so it is pretty nice to play around with the settings in it and dick around with that kind of sort of thing. Other features this car does have, what's pretty handy for a winter vehicle all year round is heated steering wheel. I didn't find this out for a long time when I was driving these cars a lot. It's just behind the wheel there, just on the bottom spoke, and it's like very hidden, but it's a cool spot. The heated wheel heats up so fast that I was like, why are my hands getting warm? I'm like, oh shoot, I forgot I had the heated wheel on. Like it's pretty instant. It's very nice quality. The leather wrap on the wheel feels great, especially when it's warm. The rear window defroster, not that unless you let snow on the car, but usually you keep this in the car in the garage. I'm assuming if you had the money to buy one of these, but it defrosts pretty fast in like, I'm sure like 20 minutes, all the snow's gone now we're on the windows. It's a pretty good system for what it is. The heated seats in this car are very, they're also very fast. Everything in this car is fast. Power to heat, it's all really good in this car. Doesn't take much time for it to heat up, but I do like the car. You can adjust the suspension settings. So as you see here in this clip of me adjusting the ride height there, it goes in stages that you can do. So especially in sport settings, you have it all the way lowered down. I think you're good enough to drive all year round. When it's all the way low, I think it has enough clearance for it. But if you're thinking you're gonna bottom out that front lip that costs $4 grand, you can lift it up if you want, and you're good enough and you got enough room. But otherwise, this car has traction everywhere it goes. It's pretty fuel efficient. I believe this car does 11.4 kilometers per 100K. So it's pretty good for what it is. It is a V6 twin turbo in this car, but it is pretty fuel efficient for what it is. You don't hear any turbo spool or flutter whatsoever. Obviously, you don't want to really hear that in a Panamera. It's more to be luxurious, but it definitely does have all its character in a way it does. Like the exhaust note is really nice in this car. But even then, being a Porsche, the steering feel is instant. Like you'll hit your head on the window if you dart it over the side. Like even in winter, it doesn't change it. This car is always sticky, like I said earlier. But it's very direct. Like you could probably steer this car with 2 fingers and it would go, because it's quite firm, but it's point and shoot and it goes. Like this car is not to be underestimated. It's really good of a car. I know people think these cars are quite ugly for some people. I like the looks of these cars quite a bit. There is the Sport Turismo variant you can buy. That's the wagon version of this car. I would stick with the regular 4-door sedan. I prefer the looks of it, but from driving a few Cayennes and Macans to this, I would rather have this car. It is more expensive, almost double the price. I'd rather have this car due to the feel of it. I prefer a 4-door sedan, but the car is very comfortable. It's very good power delivery. I think it's the perfect daily driver. I would like one for myself, honestly, at this point. I'm not trying to sound biased because I work for Porsche and I drive a Porsche, but this car is really well put together. I do like it a lot. Alright, so now we're going to see how deep it can go in the snow. I think we're already bottoming out. Well, I can hear it. It's touching the skid plate. I think we're going to be stuck. I'm going to not risk it. See how deep it went. Okay, so this car does have 4-season tires, so I believe it had winter tires. I'm sure you could go rip donuts and like go tear right through that. I don't want to risk it getting this car stuck. It is not my car, and we do have trucks to pull up. I don't really want to do that, but it did make it past. If you saw that big rut right there of snow, and then it got past that, but I felt like I was losing traction for a second. I'll give it a second go there. That's a no-go. It does get unstuck pretty easy there, but I'm a little scared I'm gonna get stuck, so I'm not gonna risk it today. But it does pass deeper snow all around town. I'm pretty sure it'll tear right through it there, but for all around driving, it's good. Just make sure the streets are plowed, I guess. So it does pass the winter test. I'm gonna conclude this video for that, but this Panamera 4S is a great all year round car, but especially winter car. So highly recommend it. This car has pretty much no flaws whatsoever. I don't see a single issue with this car. It keeps you warm, it goes fast, good handling. There's really nothing to complain about. It's a sports car, but in the sedan form, family friendly. That's pretty much it, but that's all I'm gonna call it for today. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like button. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Are you recording?
Yeah.
Thank you.
「
Oh, it's throwing snow.